He had spent his entire adult life proving, with scientific certainty, that God did not exist. He was a man of logic, of evidence, of the material world. It would take him dying for 3 minutes on an operating table to discover the profound and beautiful truth, and to receive a life-changing message from the other side. This is the powerful true story of a man who saw the light by stepping into the darkness. A testament to the fact that the greatest truths are often found when we are forced to let go of everything we think we know. Dr. Alistair Finch was a celebrated neurosurgeon, a man who mapped the human brain and saw it as nothing more than a complex biological computer. To him, consciousness was a mere byproduct of electrochemical signals. The soul, God, the afterlife, these were comforting fictions for those who feared the inevitable darkness of oblivion. He was not unkind in his atheism. He was simply certain. His reality was built on a foundation of empirical data and peer-reviewed studies. He believed in what he could see, measure, and dissect. The stakes for him were the integrity of scientific truth in a world rife with what he considered superstition. His purpose was to dispel the shadows of faith with the bright light of reason. But the universe has a way of humbling even the most certain among us. During a routine surgical procedure for a minor heart condition, something went terribly wrong. Dr. Finch went into sudden cardiac arrest. On the monitors, his heart flatlined. For 3 minutes, he was clinically dead. His colleagues frantically worked to bring him back, but in the world of measurable reality, he was gone. In that operating room, the atmosphere was one of controlled panic. The frantic beeping of machines, the smell of antiseptic, the strained voices of his fellow surgeons calling out medical jargon. This was his world, the world of the physical. But he was no longer there. He was somewhere else. What he experienced in those 3 minutes was not the darkness he had so confidently predicted. It was light. An infinite, brilliant, and overwhelming light that was not just seen, but felt. It was a light made of pure, unconditional love. He had no body, no physical form, but he was more himself than he had ever been. All the knowledge he had accumulated in his life felt like a single grain of sand on an infinite beach. He was home. This experience, known as a near-death experience or NDE, has been reported by millions of people across cultures and belief systems. While skeptics often attribute it to a brain being deprived of oxygen, the consistency of the reports is stunning. The feeling of leaving the body, the tunnel of light, the encounter with a being of pure love, and a profound sense of peace. For Dr. Finch, the staunch atheist, this was a systematic dismantling of his entire worldview. The being of light did not introduce itself as God or any other name from human religion. It communicated not with words, but with a direct transfer of knowledge and emotion. In its presence, Alistair understood that the universe was not a random, chaotic accident, but a conscious, intelligent, and infinitely loving creation. He understood that his life, and every life, had a profound purpose. He was shown a review of his life, not as a judgment, but as a lesson. He saw every interaction, every kindness, every harsh word, but he experienced it from the perspective of the other person. He felt their joy and their pain. He understood that the only thing that truly mattered, the only thing that had any lasting value, was love. This part of the NDE, the life review, is a common element. It is not a punishment, but an education in empathy, designed to show the soul the far-reaching consequences of its actions. The experience is often described as feeling the ripple effects of your own life, both positive and negative. It is a profound lesson in the interconnectedness of all beings. The message he received was simple but transformative. He was told, "What you have done for yourself dies with you. What you have done for others remains." He was then given a choice. He could stay in the light, or he could return to his body, to his life, with the mission of sharing this message. He chose to return. His first sensation upon returning to his body was an excruciating pain as the defibrillator paddles shocked his chest back to life. He gasped, his eyes flying open. The sterile, fluorescent lights of the operating room seemed dim and gray compared to the light he had just witnessed. He could hear the relieved shouts of his colleagues, but all he could feel was the profound, aching loss of the love he had left behind. The man who woke up on that operating table was not the same man who had gone to sleep. the rigid certainty of his atheism had been shattered, replaced by a deep and unshakable knowing. He tried to explain what he had seen, but the words felt clumsy and inadequate. How could he describe the infinite with finite language? His colleagues, of course, had a ready-made scientific explanation. It was a hallucination, a final, fantastic firing of a dying brain. But he knew, with a certainty that transcended any scientific data, that what he had experienced was more real than anything in his physical life. The fallout was immediate and disorienting. He could no longer be the man he once was. He stepped down from his position as a surgeon, unable to continue viewing the body as a mere machine. He began to study quantum physics, ancient spiritual texts, and the thousands of other documented NDE cases, finding in them the echoes of his own experience. He discovered that many of the core tenets of his experience, the primacy of love, the interconnectedness of all things, the survival of consciousness after death, were the foundational truths of spiritual traditions throughout human history. He had taken the long way around, through the cold halls of scientific materialism, only to arrive at the same eternal truths. He spent the rest of his life sharing his story, not as a preacher, but as a witness. He did not ask people to abandon science, but to expand its scope, to be open to the possibility that there is more to reality than what we can currently measure. His message was simple. Love is the fundamental building block of the universe. Our purpose here is to learn how to give it and to receive it. That is all that matters. You do not need to die to understand this truth. The message is all around you, in acts of kindness, in moments of compassion, in the quiet wisdom of your own heart. The divine is not a distant entity to be believed in, but a living reality to be experienced. And the most powerful way to experience it is by being a source of love in the world. If you believe that life's greatest truths lie beyond what we can see, consider following for more life-changing messages.